What's up YouTube, this is ZapdosTCG here, and in this episode I'll be talking about Kingdra Prime from the Unleashed set. Kingdra Prime is a stage 2 Pokemon with a nice HP of 130. His Poke Power Spray Splash lets you put one damage counter on one of your opponent's Pokemon once during your turn. This is an awesome Poke Power to have because one damage counter can make the difference between winning a game or losing one. Now to his attacks. Dragon Steam deals 60 damage for a simple water energy, which is very similar to Down Fence Earthquake that deals the same amount of damage for a fighting energy. The good news about Kingdra Prime is that the side effect of his attack is much better. It states that the attack base of Dragon Steam is only 20 when your opponent has any fire Pokemon in play, which is still pretty good considering that the weakness of fire Pokemon is water, so you still deal a nice amount of damage for a simple water energy. I suggest you combine Kingdra Prime with a couple of rare candies and maybe some plus powers. The rare candies are used for the fast evolution of your Horsey to a Kingdra, and the plus powers can be really helpful combined with Kingdra Prime's Poke Power. That way the damage you're dealing to a Pokemon is a lot more. You can also put Kingdra Prime and Ampharos Prime from her Gold Soul Silver in the same deck. If we look at Ampharos' Pokebody, we see that whenever your opponent attaches an energy card from his or her hands to one of his or her Pokemon, he or she puts one damage counter on that Pokemon. If you're using those two in your deck and you have them both in play, you'll see that damage counters are spreading like a disease throughout your opponent's bench and maybe his active spot as well. It's also best that you put a maximum of 4 rare candies in your deck to speed it up. You see that Gyarados has fair attacks, 50 for water and a double Carlos energy, and 80 for 2 water and a double Carlos energy. If you can set up Gyarados to use his second attack, you'll be surprised how fast damage counters can be put on the active Pokemon. So if we're taking a legendary Pokemon like Rayquaza from Call of Legends for example, with an HP of 100, completely set up with all energies he needs to be the active Pokemon of your opponent. And we have both Ampharos Prime and Kingdra Prime sitting on our bench, and Gyarados as our active Pokemon. It's our turn and we start by activating Kingdra Prime's Poke Power to put one damage counter on Rayquaza. Up next we attack with Gyarados and put 8 more damage counters on your opponent's active Pokemon, plus discarding an energy card attached to it. Now your opponent makes his move, but he can't attack because he doesn't have the necessary energies. So the only option your opponent has is to give an energy to Rayquaza in order to attack. But due to Ampharos' Pokebody, that would mean that Rayquaza receives one damage counter and it would be knocked out. The only thing the opponent can do is switch by retreating or to have a trainer card switch in his hand. And even when the opponent manages to switch, you can always use Kingdra Prime's Poke Power when it's your turn to get rid of the almost fainted Pokemon. So we see that all Pokemon that have an HP of 100 or less are always knocked out by this method. And if we assume that your opponent sets up his more powerful Pokemon on his bench, they automatically receive a lot of damage counters. One by giving an energy card and one due to Kingdra Prime's Poke Power if it's your turn. This means every time it's your move, except the opening moves, and you use Kingdra Prime's Poke Power, a Pokemon will already have at least 2 damage counters on it. This is great for overcoming decks like Feraligatr Prime or Amborg, because those decks use their Poke Power to give energies really fast. And that means if you have Ampharos out, they also receive damage really fast. You can also combine Kingdra Prime with Mandibuzz from Black and White, because Mandibuzz has an awesome attack called Blindside. For just 1 Darkness energy, you can choose one of your opponent's Pokemon and deal 50 damage to that Pokemon, but only if the Pokemon has already damage counters on it, which can't be any problem if you're using Kingdra Prime and or Ampharos Prime. And that's it for this episode. If you have any questions, comments or suggestions for the next episode, don't hesitate and post them in the comment section below. And yeah, hope you enjoyed it. This was ZapdosTCG here. Till next time.